And you soon, it won't be long.
Keep on, keep running.
What's up, YouTubers? My name is Isaac Fenwick. I'm a freshman at Bluffton University. I'm double majoring in business administration and accounting, and I aspire to be a financial advisor. Because of all that, I'm excited to announce I'll be bringing you guys a 4-part YouTube series on financial information every college student should know. Fun, right? Okay, maybe it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I'm telling you right now, if you can grasp what I'm going to say and put it into effect in your lives, I guarantee that you guys will have successful futures. With that being said, my videos will contain 4 different subtopics. Number 1, budgeting with an insufficient amount of funds. Number 2, understanding and breaking bad money habits. Number 3, preparing for college expenses. And number 4, the importance of investing at an early age. These 4 things are very undertaught in high school, and that's why I thought I was going to come to you guys and inform you about them. If you guys are high schoolers, college students, or even adults, I'm telling you right now, you want to hear everything I'm about to say, because these points are things that most people don't understand. And if you can grasp them now, you guys will for sure be successful in the future. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right into the first one. How to budget, okay? As we all know, us college students have limited amount of time to work a job, so it's hard to accumulate cash. Oftentimes, we're forced to only be able to work summer jobs. Anyways, I did a survey here at Bluffton University, and the good news was that 88% of students said that they either worked in the summer, during the school year, or both. The bad news, however, is that only 33% of those students said that they budgeted with the money that they made. This is pretty alarming. So anyways, a budget that I personally use myself, I learned in high school. It was my junior year, and I took a class called Personal Finance. My teacher, Mike Yance, often showed us videos on Dave Ramsey, who taught me how to budget. So my budget is a 52-week plan, and what happens, the first part of the budget you need to learn is you need to pick a number, the amount of money that you want per week for spending money. This is on things like gas, snacks, maybe makeup, clothes, really anything you think of, but nothing huge, okay? My first year as a junior, I chose to do $40. However, this year I wanted to do $60. I hoped that I didn't spend all $60 every week, but if I did, that's what it's there for. So first you're gonna pick that number. And you're gonna multiply this number by 52, because obviously there's 52 weeks in the school year, or in the year, which you're gonna get a total of $3,120. Okay, next you want to pick funds. Okay, so these funds can be anything like a gift fund, a gas fund, maybe a makeup fund, a fast food fund, really anything you can think of. I picked 3 of these funds. I picked a gift fund, a gas fund, and an emergency fund. Okay, so first the gift fund. As we all know, us college students normally get to birthdays and like Christmas, and we're notorious for buying like $5, presents for people. And it's not because we don't want to buy them something nice and expensive. It's just the fact that we don't plan accordingly. And I thought this back when I was a junior. I thought, maybe I make a gift fund. That way when Christmas rolls around, I'm not scrambling for money and I can still buy nice things. Now this money completely depends on how much you think you're going to spend. I personally buy a lot of gifts, so I thought, I'm going to make a $600 gift fund. So you're going to write this number down. So next, I chose to do a gas fund. If you guys don't pay for your own gas or whatever, maybe you don't think it's necessary, you don't have to add this. You can completely scratch it off the list, or maybe you can replace it with something else. I buy my own gas, and sometimes gas can get pricey, so I decided to make a gas fund. Once again, this number that you put in this account is completely up to you. I chose to do $200. If I don't have to use it all, good. Normally what I do is I take the extra money I have per week, the $60 up here, I take any extra money and I use it there, so I don't have to dig into my gas fund. So we're going to write this number down. And then the last fund I chose to do is an emergency fund. I think this is something everybody should do, but hear me out. It's an emergency fund, not a fund that you need to dig into when the newest Call of Duty releases or the newest makeup palette comes out. This is for emergencies only, and you really got to, be disciplined enough not to dig into it for other reasons. So we're going to write that down. If you add all these three numbers up, you're going to get $3,920. This is how much money I needed to make to prepare myself for the next 52 weeks and never have to worry about another thing. I didn't have to work another job, another hour if I didn't want to, as long as I hit this goal. So this is your goal. Like I said, these numbers can be different depending on how much you decide to put into them. So anyways, the last part about it, you might be thinking, what happens if I don't hit that goal? Okay, that's fine. If you don't hit the goal, maybe you work in the rest of the school year. If you don't hit the goal in the summer, you just work in the school year, maybe a couple more hours until you do hit that number, and then you're good for the rest of the rest of the year. 52 weeks, you don't have to worry about anything. You also might be thinking, what happens if I exceed it? That's a good question. Just like myself, this summer, I didn't just hit this goal, but I ended up making around like $5,000. So I was about $1,000 over. And I also work here on campus. So any extra money that I personally take, you can do several things. Number one, you can sit there and invest it, which I'll talk about in a later video. Number two, you can jumpstart next year's budget. So that way, maybe you make an extra $1,000. You can start your next year's budget early. Or third, which this is what I do, is I take all that extra money and I put it towards my next year's college. With all that being said, that's all there is to budgeting. You gotta be disciplined enough to do it though, and you gotta be disciplined enough to stick to it. And if you guys can learn how to budget now, I'm telling you guys, it'll prepare you, it'll make it so much easier when you're an adult and you have things like a car payment, a house payment, a kid, a husband, a wife, whatever you may have when you're older. If you can learn to budget now as a college student or maybe a high school student or a young adult, it's gonna be so much easier when you're older. That's all I've got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed my video, please make sure you subscribe and leave a like down below. And also, tune into my next video. The link's going to be in the description below. And other than that, that's all I've got. So I'll see you guys.